Look, I want to show you this. This is the Jewels-of-Opar, grown from cuttings. So it's handy to know that they can be grown from cuttings. There's no reason why I couldn't have hundreds of them indoors. With lettuce prices at the moment, lettuces are 3 times their usual price. But Jewels-of-Opar are as nice as a lettuce. They're lovely. This one is grown from a cutting. It's proof that they can be grown. Oh, you didn't see me. You'll just have to take my word for it. But I grew this from a cutting. It's proof that they grow from cuttings. And it's indoors where it's safe from the frost. These Jewels-of-Opar haven't been cut down by the frost yet, but they soon will be. They're growing under an evergreen, but they soon will be cut down by the frost. They seem to come up from their root again. Lovely and chompy. I shouldn't eat them without washing them, should I? Unless the slug has crawled all over them. Why does someone have to do someone's working on a roof somewhere, listen. Jewels-of-Opar, recognise them. The leaves are sort of icy, like eating an ice plant. A bit like iceberg lettuce. Slight crunch. Look what else is growing nearby. This is, what's this? This is white horehound. You can make a sort of ginger beer out of that, can't you? Not ginger beer, but you can make horehound beer out of those. I must try it sometime, mustn't I? And beside it, this is ruby saltbush, the leaves of which can be eaten in moderation. I think it's a bit like spinach. I think you're not supposed to eat too much because it might contain a little bit of oxalic acid or something. You're not supposed to eat too much ruby saltbush leaves. And this stuff is growing everywhere. I think this is chickweed, isn't it? I'd have to refer to my herb books, but I think it's chickweed. I made a video about it before. I have eaten chickweed before, but can be cooked into a spinach or used in salads. Let's see if it breaks, and that's the special way that chickweed breaks, where you get a thread. Let's see, is there a thread? When you pull it apart, is there a thread? Was there a fine thread? There's usually a fine thread. Let me hold it in front of something so we can see it. Let's just hold it here in my trousers and try and pull it apart. See if there's a little thread in the middle. Yes, there's the thread. Yes, it has a little thread. That's one way to tell chickweed. Let's see, can we see the thread when you pull the stem apart? That's one way to tell chickweed, but refer to a herb book before you go eating chickweed in your garden, because I don't want you to poison yourself. Seek the advice of a botanist or a bush tucker expert or a forager. This is called Fumitory, this stuff. I must look it up and see what it's good for, if it's good for anything. It's a weed called Fumitory. It's a pretty weed though, it has pretty pink flowers. Let's see. Where's the flowers of Fumitory? Look, there are Fumitory flowers. Perhaps we can all go on the internet and find out what Fumitory is good for. Let's hope it's not good for nothing. Fumitory. I shouldn't talk about a weed. I shouldn't talk about a weed as good for nothing though, should I? Because it's so beautiful. Such a pretty little weed, it lights up our garden. In the green months. Oh, shut up. Listen to that awful person using their angle grinder on a roof somewhere. That's Fumitory. Look, there's miles and miles of chickweed. There's miles and miles of chickweed. That's free salad vegetables and free spinach, basically. Apparently Brisbane has got the Jewels-of-Opar as a weed everywhere. So Brisbaneites should pick Jewels-of-Opar, because it's a weed everywhere. This can be our dessert today. It's Peruvian apple cactus. It's all nice and ripe. Nice and ripe. This one's nice and ripe too, but it's a bit small. It's all right. It's all right for a little taste. This one's got a split in it, so that means it's ripening. I might have that one for my supper too. Not quite as red as we like. That's a good sized one. I'll show you my hand in relation to the fruit. So that's a good sized one. The stronger the red colour, the stronger the flavour. But if we pick them like this, we can keep them indoors for a few days and let them redden up a bit. There's some red ones really up high, but they're out of reach. I suppose I could hit them down with a rake. You can twist them off easily by hand, but if you hit them with a stick, you've got to keep belting them until they fall, and that can bruise them a bit. That one was ripe, wasn't it? Look. That one was ripe. That's a nice reddish one. I should try and get it, shouldn't I? A bit high though, they can grow quite high. That's a very nice one. I'm kicking myself for not learning about these sooner, because they don't get fruit fly, which is great for Australia. We've seen no evidence of fruit fly at all. They can stand cold winter temperatures. After all, they're ripening in winter now, aren't they? And they're very drought resistant. And they're so easy to propagate. That one's reddening up. And it's got a split in it as if it's about to burst. So it should be full of lusciousness. I might sort of bring a chair down and try and grab that one. Look how tall the Peruvian apple cactus can grow. I'll just go and show you how big it is. Well, look, there's some winter food. You can take dandelion flowers and mix them with pikelet mix and make little dandelion pikelets with a flower in the middle of them. And there's the dandelion leaves that you can use as a salad vegetable. This is a nice salad one. There's some nice tender leaves. The tender leaves are the best, aren't they? Nice tender ones, those ones. The older leaves tend to be a bit tougher. These older leaves are a bit tougher. But they're nice, tender leaves. Edible dandelion greens. Would you like a dandelion leaf? Would you eat dandelion leaves? Look, would you eat that? Go on, would you eat a dandelion leaf? Come on. You want apple and bread, don't you? But look. Try the dandelion leaf, you silly thing. Try that. Yes, you will eat dandelion. That's interesting. I'll get you some more. Come on. There's some more dandelion leaf. Luscious. Come on. Come on, try the dandelion. Oh, that's interesting. You don't eat banana, you eat apple, you eat dandelion, you eat bread. Aren't you sweet? I'll go and get you a nice piece of apple. Isn't it gorgeous? Gorgeous.